Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a 3-watch comparison. The 6105-8110, the SLA033 and the SPB151. So stick around and I'll share my thoughts about these watches. If you like my content and you want to see more, please help the channel by subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Hi guys, welcome back. So firstly, let me start by saying that I've had a lot of comments and people saying that can I do a review, can I do a comparison between the original 6105 against the SLA033 and the SPB151 or the 153, the new releases coming out in June. So I'm going to do a comparison between the 3 watches, case sizes, what they look like next to each other and superimposed. I'm going to do a couple of, what the dials and the markers and the hand. So let's start. First and foremost, let's start with the actual comparison of the original 6105 and the SLA033. Now the case sizes are slightly different. As you can see, the original was a 44mm case. Cushion case, an asymmetric one, and the SLA was released as a 45mm. So it's a millimeter difference, which is not a great deal. They're both relatively big watches, but the case shape is very interesting. If we put them next to each other, or even if we superimpose one watch on top of the other, we can see that the crown guards and the crown itself is in slightly different positions. So if you have a look at that, you can see that the SLA033, the crown itself comes out at about 4:01, whereas the original, the crown comes out at the 4 o'clock mark. So there's a subtle difference there. Look, in doing so, the actual crown guards themselves on the SLA033, they're slightly lowered, just a tad. Not much of a difference, but the actual case shape itself seems to be true to form. It's nice, it's round, it has a good presence on the wrist, which is lovely, so that's important. The crystal itself, the crystal on the SLA is a sapphire crystal, and from visuals it seems to have extended itself all the way out to the bezel. The original was not the same. The original actually had we know it had a hardlex crystal, a double dome hardlex, but the edge of the original's crystal was beveled, and in that bevel we had a reflection. So if I put the 2 watches together just to compare them, you can see that the SLA has a beautiful clarity on it and all the rest, but if you look at the original, the edge of the crystal, that bevel, that actually reflects the minute markers that are on the dial. So as you can see, the minute markers double up. That's because of that bevel. So I've spoken about it in a previous video as well, but that's a unique look to that particular crystal, and it looks really nice. I think it offsets that watch. Now, why the SLA didn't copy that, I don't know, I don't understand, but yeah, that's one of the aspects that possibly this watch missed. But look, the SLA is a luxurious watch. It's a watch that's been stepped up. Originally the Willard came out and it was an affordable dive watch. It was a tool watch, and many people bought them because of that. And it was an intended purpose watch, whereas I see the SLA, it's beautiful looking. They've done a stunning job on the materials, the movement, the Zaratsu polishing. It's a really stunning looking piece. The Seiko's released a watch here that's obviously a limited edition and relatively expensive. So, but coming up to the dial itself, I look at the layout of the dial of the SLA, and it seems to be, it seems to have mimicked the original really nicely. So if you look at the placement of the logo, it says Seiko and automatic underneath it. They both seem to be the same. The original said water resistance 150 meters underneath the actual hands, and the SLA033 says divers 200 meters. So they've placed everything in the right positions. The markers are ideal. I can see that they're all they're applied markers, and they're filled in with loom, and the SLA has done a great job. They've obviously used better materials, modern materials. It's a more finesse sort of a finish from the original. It's not as hard or sharp as the original, but it's lovely. It seems to have replicated it as close as possible. The hands are superb. the hands and the second hand, as you can see with the two little pips, the red pip and the white pip, they seem to be superb. So I think they've done a really great job with the SLA033 just from what we've seen here. Many people are obviously happy with the watch. There's a couple of reviews out there that you know, the watch is lovely. They've even the crown itself, if you look at this texture, the knurling on the crown itself, it's been replicated. Even though the original had a pull-out crown, you know, a lockdown pull-out crown, the SLA033 has a screw-down crown. But as far as its looks, it's lovely. It's really good. The bezel itself, they're both aluminium, obviously newer materials, newer pip. So, but the general look, case shape, layout, the SLA has done a great job. So hats off to Seiko for that. The only gripe, it's expensive. It's a limited edition. It's a damn shame. You know, it would have been nice if they just released this as an ongoing watch that you know, reduce it by $1,000 or so, maybe $1,500, and let the public decide how many of them they want to, you know, they want to purchase. So, but look, let's move forward. There's the SPB151 and the SPB153 that's soon to be released by Seiko mid-year, I think. And the only information we have is from Seiko's website, and you know, the pictures and the documentation. And look, there's something that sort of doesn't sit right with me about this watch, but I don't know where this watch sits in the market, and I'll explain why. If you look at the watches side by side, the case shape is the first thing that sort of gets me. It doesn't seem to be a round cushion case like the original or the SLA. It seems to be more vertically inclined. So it sort of reminds me of the turtles, the SRP turtles. If you look at the turtle case shape that's more vertical as compared to round, it sort of looks like that. So in fact, if I superimpose the SPB151 over the original, you can see that the case shape, you know, it is sort of tucked in on the side, so it hasn't got that round sort of fatness as the original had, and that's what gave the original the presence, you know, the presence on the wrist, you know, in Apocalypse Now on Martin Sheen's wrist, and Hollywood and all the rest. You know, it's got a unique look in the 70s. So, but yeah, if let's say I was to superimpose the SRP turtle over the actual SPB151, you can pretty much see that the case is almost identical. It's, you know, apart from the crown guards, which has been like, it's like an addition. There's crown guards on the SPB151. The turtle's case shape seems to be pretty much mimicking the new SPB151. So that's an interesting sort of an observation there. I sort of, that's the first thing that got me when I saw the photos on their website. But there's a few other things that sort of, I don't know what Seiko's trying to do here, and one of them is the hands. I look at the hands, and I can see that the look at the hour marker. It's I mean, they're stick hands. They've tried to sort of stick with a period, but it's relatively thick. It's a thick, broad hour hand if we compare it to the original, and it's yeah, it seems to have a different look to it, different shape as well. Even the second hand itself, if you look at it, there seems to be like a needle sticking out at the edge of the hand. So that's unusual. I don't know why Seiko's done that. Have they tried to create something like reimagined or something different? Yeah, they have. Is it true to the original? Sort of. I don't know. It's let the people decide. The dial itself, I look at the placement of the you know, the logos and stuff, and they've basically done a simple Seiko on the top with a Prospex logo and the automatic underneath that, as well as Divers 200. So it's a little bit busier. It would have been nice if they just had the automatic underneath the Seiko, like the original and like the SLA. Yeah, keep it a bit more true to form. And with the Prospex logo, it's you know, not many people like that logo on the watch, but again, you know, Seiko's decided to go down that road. That's their choice, their decision. The case size itself is smaller. The case size is a 42.7 as compared to a 44, but I can see where they've you know, they've trimmed the sides down to make it a 42.7. Not sure whether they've done the right thing there. Like I said, it does look like a different type of watch with a different dial. It looks like a turtle with a, you know, trying to copy the original 6105's dial, for argument's sake. But speaking of the dial, if we look at the markers The markers themselves is, for me, it's a letdown. I struggle to call them applied markers. I look at these markers, I know they've got a silver surround, you know, I can see that they've got a silver surround, and they've got lume, but the lume, it seems to be like a cheaper application. It doesn't look like proper infield, you know, applied markers. And to me, it reminds me again of the Turtle series. The markers that are on the Turtle, the same sort of application, a different shape, but the same application. It's you know, it's obviously better than like a Seiko SKX where they were just printed on the dial, but the process of applying markers like this, it doesn't look like an expensive process. It looks like it's just stamped, or I don't know, I'm not sure how they do this, but it doesn't look the part like the SLA033 or the original does. So that's another observation which I think slightly lets this watch down. And look, I'm being hard on this watch for a reason. I'm being hard on this new release for a reason. It's not a cheap watch. It's not a cheap watch. If this was a $800-900 watch, $700 watch, you know, yeah, great. Okay, I could sort of overlook all these things. They've sort of done a reinterpretation. Seiko's asking retail $19.95 Australian for this. That's, to me, that does not make sense. I don't understand where this watch falls in the category between the SLA and the original. It sort of doesn't fit there. Not at that price point. If it was more true to the original case shape, markers, you know, okay, I understand using cheaper materials, like maybe a cheaper movement, or you know, maybe not even include sapphire if you don't want to, but charging, you know, $2,000 and really not nailing it, it doesn't make sense for me, you know. So as far as the glass is concerned, as far as the actual crystal is concerned, I think they've got it right on this model. You know, you can see the markers have been doubled up on the bevel itself, so they've done that right, which is great. So again, it seems to have borrowed from a couple of different watches, and that, it doesn't make sense to me. It's you know, you're releasing something to the public, release it for a reason. Release it because you want to sort of copy a particular style. You know, I understand the 6105, the original. I understand the stick markers and the dial and the, you know, the classic, the vintage 1970s look. It's got a unique style, and I can see what the SLA 033 has done. It's going to copy that, and true to the original as close as it can. It's great. But with the new SPB151, 153s, it seems to have gone on a little bit of a tangent. It's like a hybrid watch. It's like a cross between a Turtle and a 6105. So look, is it going to be a popular watch? I'm pretty sure people will be buying it. They will be, you know, snapping it up. But at that price, I fail to understand, you know, how Seiko can sort of justify that price for something like this. Again, it's marketing. They've jumped on the bandwagon, you know, with these you know, re-releases and reissues, and I'm sure they can get it right. I'm sure they can do one watch and get it right, and you know, nail it. But that's not their intent. That's not how you make money, obviously, as a watch company. So, but look, I hope you enjoyed that. It was just a couple of comparisons between the three watches. For me, I'm going to go out and enjoy this watch. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and literally, and we'll see you all next time.